If you have a desire to make more money on YouTube, congratulations. By the end of this video, your YouTube channel will be monetized. You don't need 4,000 hours of watch time. You don't need 1,000 subscribers. You don't need to wait for that to happen. You can actually do something that's going to monetize your YouTube channel with your next upload. Welcome to the department. It's Omar and I have with me art.mp4. What it do?
Let's go.
Pretty excited about this episode. It isn't often we do follow-up episodes based on comments on YouTube videos. Now, your comments, number one, I just want to thank you. Thank you for taking the time to say, thank you for this episode. I'm watching it for the second time. You know, whatever the comments you guys leave, I just want you to know I see them all. We see them all. And we're just grateful for this community. But this is a follow-up video from the YouTube kind of masterclass upload we uploaded earlier this year, about 2-3 weeks ago. And there was a consistent comment that came out in that video. And this was the comments.
People were pretty either confused or needed more context on a point you brought up. And that point was sponsoring your own stuff or your own videos. So Alana said, can somebody please explain to me what it means to sponsor your own YouTube channel? Daniel Sanchez said, what does he mean when he says sponsor your own video? Does that mean sponsoring your business through your video? Yeah, so those were some of the comments.
Yeah, and there was a couple more.
Yeah.
But that's the punchline. Like if you leave this conversation, no, maybe it's like not even no, it's you have the permission to sponsor your own content. I think I just want to camp on this idea real quick before I break it down and what it actually looks like practically, especially whether you have a business or you don't have a business.
Like Candace, if I'm starting a home decor channel, I'm a little curious how I'd sponsor it.
Yeah, and here's a lot of these questions come from a place that people are focusing on the passion first before the profit, right? And so that's okay. I actually love that. I love when people create. Not want, and you don't do it for the money. Money is a byproduct of doing it. Now, there are people who have lots of followers or have built a strong community and they don't know how to monetize it. And this is something that I have been able to see from every level. And I have distilled it down to the easiest way to make money on YouTube, which is sponsoring your own videos. And I just want to encourage you, like, you don't need to wait for Google to start paying you cents. Like you don't have to wait for Google to start paying you, $5 every 1,000 views. Like it's not going to be sustainable. So it's okay for that to be your goal. Like the YouTube partnership program, great goal, but don't let it be your main goal, right? Like I think your main goal should be, how does this channel make sense financially, big picture wise, which it can. And my big thing is like every video you upload should technically have a money plan connected to it. Now, some people who are very creative and maybe not business minded, you might say, no, it's about giving. And yes, it is about giving. Like in your giving, you give yourself the permission to make an ask. I think that's fair, right? We have an ad read, which we will play at some point in this conversation, about something we sell, which is the challenge, right? And it's a separate kind of vibe. But that's sponsoring this conversation. We also have a sponsor from a brand deal, which is one thing you can work up to. But even then, sometimes people wait too long to even get sponsored by a brand deal. You don't have to wait for a brand. You can become an affiliate for a brand without anyone's permission other than you.
Or it can be your brand.
Or it could be your brand. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you want to make the most money, sponsor your own YouTube videos. And so let's break that down. Can you kind of share from your point of view, Art, what you think they're kind of struggling with?
For the people who don't have a business and they're just creating content and listening to you, they're like, where do I start? Like, I'm a photographer. What am I supposed to sell?
I think that's a very great observation. Thank you. No, yeah, you're right. So let's talk about it. So how do you sponsor your own YouTube videos? you mention the thing you want to give away or sell in your video very organically, right? Like, and it shouldn't be the first thing you ask for. It should be either in the middle or toward the end. But that's 50% of the task. The other 50% of the task is to, yes, put a link to your business in some way, shape, or form in the description. The partnership of those two things officially monetizes your YouTube channel. Now, I want to talk about what does an ad read even look like, and how can you have an effective ad read, which actually I'm going to use the Bible in just a moment to show you how Jesus was really good at calling people in. But I think also, so like, I think that's number one is just like, I hope that's as clear as I can make it. When we say sponsor, we mean talk about something you got for the people, something you have for the people that are watching your content. When I first got started on YouTube, I was not monetized by Google, but I created tutorials for video and photography, and I sold what is called digital products. So where I would show how to do something in the middle of the how-to was something that was my own supply. And what do I mean by that? I had photo presets. So I showed people how to edit photos on a software called Adobe Lightroom, how to make your photos look professional. And I said, hey, I'm going to show you how to import and apply presets in Adobe. By the way, I'm using my presets, and if you'd like them, check out the link below. That intentionality, that minimal intentionality in 2017 or 2018, it made me, I think, over $10,000 with that video. And I didn't have you could literally find that video right now on this channel. It's vintage O. This is pre-think Omar, but that video had a money plan. And that money plan it's just that, it's that simple. I hope it's that simple. Now, it can be whatever. I think this is where people get caught up and I think overthink that it has to be something that is so obvious maybe, but sometimes it's not as obvious as one would think. It's whatever you believe would help a person go deeper without actually needing you totally, right? Like what I mean that is, like in the process of signing up. So yeah, I think this can happen one of two ways, because before we sponsored this podcast with the challenge, we sponsored this podcast with our gear guide.
Mm-hmm.
And our email list grew by 10,000 emails by simply letting people know that I've compiled a list of all the gear we use here and you can have it. And nothing fancy, just an email opt-in. And
would you say that's a version of sponsoring
correct.
Their content?
Yes.
Is even just a lead magnet?
Yes. So my thing is like, it doesn't have to always be immediately leading to a transaction. And I actually think the longer you can wait for a sale to take place, the smarter, the better. So like, it's another form of giving. So now you're watching this YouTube video that's so valuable and you're probably thinking to yourself, this guy looks good. He sounds good. I wonder what he's using. Oh my goodness. He's saying you can have all the gear, like just compiled. Like I can have his gear list, which I used to charge a lot of people to compile a gear list for them. So like there's value in, this is what you would call a lead magnet. And if you are in business, you may understand this. If you're just getting into business, you may not understand this. If you're a creative, maybe you don't understand this at all. But a lead magnet is something that your business offers as a way of grabbing some people's information. You don't have a business if you don't have leads. Like, it's as simple as that. If you're making money for services, you have a hobby you get paid for. But if you don't have a system in place that is giving you predictable leads, name, email, phone number, you don't have a business. Now, people who attempt YouTube with a business mindset typically make money very quickly before you even get YouTube partner program or monetized by Google. And it's because you're leveraging the idea that people are watching you deliver valuable content. And for anyone who would want to take the next step, you made it clear. You don't know how many times I've heard the story of people who've been consistent with posting content, and then they have a viral video, and then they're trying to reverse and, oh man, I got a viral video. I don't know what to like. It's like, no, you missed it, which is fine. From this point forward, just be more prepared. The reality is you don't need a viral video to even make a lot of money.
Yep.
You just need it to be consistent enough that like,
one of your students, Yiwei, is a great example.
Yeah. I don't know if we broke her down already in the podcast, but yeah, like somebody who has less than 30 subscribers made over, or at least will gross $30,000 from one viewer. Now, somebody might ask, how does that even happen? Well, she has her business in place to let that happen. But none of that would be possible if she didn't create an opportunity for people, which is what an offer is. An offer is an opportunity to go to the next step, which could be reach out to me, comment below.
So what was it? She made a video, and what was in the description?
Okay, so this is how she actually did it. She had a way of contacting her, which it could have been even Instagram. I mean, but it's just the key to say it, right? She had somebody reach out to her to go find a home. She makes Airbnb content. And this person said, hey, can you help me find a home? She's a real estate agent also. So she helped find a home. Every time you sell a home, it yields a percentage of a commission. So that commission was about $12,000. Even if it ended there, story ended, amazing. That can happen multiple times. But then that person was like, hey, do you set things up for Airbnb? And she was like, I do. The fee for that is like $5,000, $7,000 to like set it all up. He's like, okay, let's do it. And then he was like, do you like run it? She's like, I do. That's like about $1,000 a month or a certain percentage from the bookings or whatever. And I asked her, what is the projected gross revenue from this one transaction or this one lead that came in from YouTube? She said about $30,000. 30 subscribers, less than 30 subscribers. I don't know, maybe a handful of YouTube videos, 7 to 9 YouTube videos. And so this could be your story. Now, it does depend, like ultimately not all businesses are the same. Not everyone has the skill to sell things high ticket or, for a lot of money. But at minimum, you should be giving something to people or giving an opportunity for people to go to the next level with you off platform.
Right.
Like this is the week we had a crazy TikTok thing go down.
Yep. Like
they said over 170 million American creators were being like a form of either creativity, income, or what have you, were being compromised by the platform shutting down. And this is why even if you have followers or subscribers, it doesn't mean you have a business because you are susceptible for a platform shutting down.
Yes.
What do you do when that happens? Number one, I hope you have an email list. Number two, I hope that you're emailing those people consistently. Now, I don't want to get too repetitive in this conversation. I want to go more deep into sponsoring your own YouTube videos. But I just want to show, like, it doesn't matter what platform, even though I love YouTube with like all my heart. Shout out to the plaques right over there. Hey, you guys see it? Notice? Hey, silver, gold,
Rip
hey.
to the audio listeners.
What?
I said rip to the audio listeners. Oh, you can't see
it because see, like nobody would know what that meant. Be like, what did Art just say? Rip to the audio.
R.I.P. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to the audio listeners. What do they mean? Too bad for the audio listeners. I don't know. Okay, anyway.
Gen Z slang.
All right. Where was I? Yeah, TikTok. Okay. Yeah. The panic was crazy.
Even
and it's like,
back.
I genuinely felt bad, for people who like their living is on the, is predicated on that, which in so many ways, so is mine. However, at the same time, we have over 40,000 people on our email list. Like with about 100,000 subscribers, that's a pretty good ratio of people that are off platform in my world. And by the way, if you're not on the email list, feel free, check out the link in the description. If you want to get on the email list, we send valuable emails, very easy to read, short emails to your inbox. And if you think this podcast is valuable, so is the email. Yeah. I just want I'm trying to get you to think differently about creating. Like, think in the mind of an entrepreneur. Yes, I love the term content creator, but I don't like it as an excuse as somebody who gets taken advantage of by feeding a platform that you don't own, and like creating this beast that then controls your life. Like, no, you can be in control the entire step of the way.
Yiwei was a good example, but I know that, not everyone's a real estate agent. Not everyone has Airbnb stuff, and not everyone's going to have the opportunity to make 30K off of one viewer. But she had that thing in place, and it, ended up working out. But another good example is our buddy Austin. He posted a video about gear he liked. This video ended up blowing up, and it's 14K now views.
The one he posted a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
It hit 14K, and all that gear, he has affiliates in the description. So when people go and click to buy the piece of gear he recommended, he's getting paid for it.
Yes.
So that's like another way.
And he's a new YouTuber.
Yes.
Like, I mean, that was like his second or third upload.
But that was another way of like, he was able to sponsor,
yes,
his video.
Check out the description, because I didn't want this to be like the different ways of monetizing YouTube channel, because we have a conversation on that, and I'll always make updated conversations as time goes on when it makes sense to. But yeah, I mean, what's an affiliate? Affiliate is simply you selling somebody else's product, and then you get a cut for that. And every major retailer online has an affiliate program.
Yep.
And then also, you can also reach out to other people that you have worked with, or if somebody else has a program or something, you can actually affiliate their program and work out a deal. In the online education space, oftentimes people will give you 50% of a course sale. Like I will give you 50% of a challenge ticket sale. Like, if you sell a challenge, a ticket to a friend or a colleague, or your email list, you can have an affiliate literally with us, and like, we all win, right? Like, that's the beautiful thing about affiliates. It's like, if you trust me, or this hypothetical, because it could be anybody, if you trust somebody and their processes, might as well use that to build trust with other people and say, hey, if you're looking, whatever, and I know I'm like plugging up away, but I don't care. This is super valuable. Okay. So yes, talk about a product or service you offer. Like, so we talked about lead magnet, and then there's like talking about a product or service you offer. And we have a conversation on offer creation, several of them, Myron, Eileen, and then one we did, me, you, and Mariella. And I don't want to get too deep in that, but like, just you can come up with something to sell. You can go into Canva and create something. You
like what though?
Okay, if you really want the breakdown, if you are good or an expert at something you've done and you've never created an asset before to sell, have somebody consult you for free. Help somebody get set up in something. Help somebody, start the thing or launch the thing. Or let's take an example from that comment. They do. What did you say?
She said, hold on, sorry. She said home decor.
Okay. So like, put it out there. What's her name?
Her name is, I believe, Candace.
So Candace, you do home decor. You can literally offer a free design consultation.
Would that be interior design?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home decor. Or I mean, yeah.
But she's an interior designer. Yeah.
Because home decor, interior design, I guess interior design is more like furniture and vibes and all that stuff. I think home decor is like decorations, maybe seasonal decorations. But either way, consult somebody, right? And here's what you're going to do. You're going to either document your consultation by recording the audio of that consultation, or you're going to have somebody take notes as you consult. There has been so many times where friends, families, people, pastors, like, they reach out to me and we get on the phone and they're like, they want to, quote unquote, pick my brain, which, by the way, don't ever DM me and say, hey, Omar, can I pick your brain? Don't ever text me and say, hey, Omar, can I? Just think about that. I want you to think that that's cringe, because if you do, then you'll value yourself at a higher level. I know it's like, it's become so like, accepted, but I just want you to know what you're asking to do. Hey, can I pick your brain? He's like, do you realize that this brain has been refined and defined and has been developed to a place where people pay me a lot of money to pick my brain? So I don't know, maybe this is for the person. Stop letting people pick your brain. You'll be less frustrated. Have a pick your brain offer, you know? But in this case, if you're somebody who people picks your brain often, document that. I remember I was very disappointed in myself when my friend, shout out to Alejandro, he hit me up and he wanted to ask me some things. And I'm always down, obviously, to help people in my community and my family and close friends. And it was like, he asked me from the most purest place, like how he can really grow his podcast. And when I got off that call, I was like, that was an ebook. If I just audio recorded that, it could have been transcribed into an ebook. You could Fiverr a graphic designer, or you can literally go on Canva and just paste the ebook inside of Canva.
Right. And then there's your lead magnet.
And then you lead magnet, or actually an offer.
Yes.
Like I could have sold that. And then all things, you know, every little thing should lead to the next thing. You know, that's why you open up this video, it leads to the challenge. You go on the challenge, it leads to working with me one-on-one, or not one-on-one, as you know, consulting. We consult, it leads to potentially VIP days. It's just every opportunity presents itself, allows you to extend the next step to the person who wants the next step. The thing is if you're giving people so much insight, so much answers, so much breakthrough, and you don't give them the next step, do you realize that you just pre-sold them on taking a next step with somebody else?
Dang.
So thank you to everyone who has ever made content that didn't give a next step, and then they found me, and that next step aligned with that previous creator. Like crazy, right? And now I know it happens in many facets. Some people, you know, it's not all about it. I hope you hear my heart. It's not all about it. So anyway, okay, yeah, I just want to say you could just talk about your stuff. And this is the principle of, if you're not excited about what you have going on, why would you expect other people to be excited about what you have going on? Like, create something that excites you. Create something that costs you something. Like, it should feel like, I can't believe I'm like charging for this. I can't believe I'm giving this away. Like, because we all pay a cost to our expertise, right? Like, I've been doing video for over 19 years, and I can't believe that for 5 days, we could spend 5 days on Zoom in a community for $200. Like, what are we talking about? And so, but that's why I'm not worried about it. It doesn't come off in my tone like, oh, this is expensive. It's not expensive. Nothing's expensive that I sell, because the conviction of the value is there. But that comes from a place where it's costed you something to create it, and therefore you see the value, right? Hey, department fam, wanted to take a brief break from this conversation. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is that, did you know that 75% of the people that watch this podcast on YouTube actually aren't subscribed, which is a high chance that you're not subscribed. So number one, I want to say thank you for listening or watching the podcast. And number two, if you can hit that subscribe button, that would be amazing. The second thing is, if you are an entrepreneur, content creator, or somebody looking to make money online, I want to encourage you to come to this online event called the Content to Cash Challenge. This is a special 5-day event that's going to give you access to the system I use in my business to make multiple 6 figures with my content. If you've been desiring to either get your business and brand more exposure, grow a YouTube channel, whatever it is when it comes to video, I would encourage you to jump into the Content to Cash Challenge. We'll be sure to post the link to the challenge down in the show notes or the description. And I want to encourage you to jump into the VIP experience. This will give you access to a 1-hour Q&A call every day of the challenge. This will guarantee myself to answer a personalized question you may have. So I'll see you on the Content to Cash challenge. Now let's jump back into the conversation.
Little tangent there.
It was a little tangent, but it
was great though. It was gold.
Good,
but I like where you're going down that path of like, yes, breaking it down on how they can, like ways to figure out how I can sponsor my stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I know
first thing you said was just consult somebody.
Yes. Like if you don't have anything,
Mm-hmm.
like you can get that something from somebody you're helping.
Okay.
In real life, IRL.
Say someone has something, like a good example, I'm just going to use Alex in your inner circle. He has a fly fishing YouTube channel.
Yep.
Now let's say he had this YouTube channel and he was just making content that he loved about fly fishing.
Right.
What would you instruct him to do to sponsor his videos?
Well, kudos to Alex. Also shout out to Ventures Fly Co. They are what is called a content. I sent it. I actually texted him. I mean, see. Because I was watching a podcast. Ooh, here we go. Good golf.
Yes.
And it's the same framework. Alex with Ventures Fly Co. He's creating a content-based product company. So content-based product company, meaning
a piece of confetti just fell.
Oh, that's so funny. We like celebrated 100,000 subs with confetti, but that's funny. But so same with Joe and Marty Mailing. They're a content-based leather company.
Okay, sure.
So they leverage content to sell product.
Gotcha.
So your question is, how would you advise? Well, number one,
I was just using him as an example. Like he's like he's in a niche. His niche is fly fishing.
Yeah.
So if he didn't have his company and it was just the YouTube channel and content, how would you coach him on like where to start?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I would ask him what's the top questions that you're getting, which he did this, right? He noticed that everybody was asking all these questions, and then he created a masterclass on all the questions and actually just uploaded to YouTube. But then ways he grabs people off platform is he has a free community, which is a great, opportunity, having a free community, where the conversation can go deeper. And here's what's cool. If you offer a free community around an interest, it actually yields more video ideas because people are just like talking and it's like, oh snap, we can just use this. And he's done that. He's leveraged. And then those videos perform really well because he's like getting he's like one with the people, if that makes sense. Which you can do. You can host a community. So much, of even a sponsor is facilitating an idea. So if this person does home decor, if that person does photography, like create a community around the idea of something. And it's actually not built on you. It's built on the idea. It's actually powerful. Now you're just a facilitator, and facilitators make a lot of money. It's called brokerage deals. It means like, because you have the audience, because you have the email list, you can actually leverage that information to do other things. That's literally like what conventions do. It's like there's a facilitator of a convention, people pay the facilitator, they market it for everybody and they get the people there, and then you guys do your thing.
Sure.
But yeah, I think, I mean, it's hard to say it with Alex because he already had like product going.
Yeah.
What he needed was just more, I mean, his was more like how to leverage Instagram automations to get more people's information off the platform and then just, keep that cycle. But I love how much he loves creating content. It comes off in their content. But anyway, I don't know if that answers the question. Well, you say, what would you advise him to do if he was starting out? Yeah, I would say look at the comments or consult somebody on Flight and then come up with something from that. Which in that case, he came up with a masterclass series of videos that all push to the next step, which is like their kit.
Okay.
Yeah, he created a kit based for beginners.
That's cool.
So I want to share this insight that I got. Now, I don't know what you believe about the Bible, but this has been my guidebook for success. This has been the secret sauce to everything I've done is is the word of God. And it even says in Joshua, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that, meditate on the word day and night, and then do what it says, and you will experience good success. I don't know. It's like so simple. It's like, Omar, what do I got to do? Like, let's start here, And now for those that are maybe Bible teachers and stuff like that, like I from time to time will teach the Bible to people in our church. Like, what I'm not doing is I'm not making this what it isn't. I'm letting you know what I see Jesus do to draw people in, and how we can implement the same principles when we do an actual ad read. So I want to call this, or I'd like to call this the Messiah marketing method, found in Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30. Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy burden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lonely in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." What is Jesus doing here? He's giving out an invitation.
Bro, that was his high ticket offer.
And I want to point out a few things that Jesus does with this, which is so brilliant. And I teach the people in my inner circle this. This is like the ultimate content breakdown for video sales letters, ad reads, what have you. So if you're like, Omar, how do I put together a really strong ad read? Number one, you enroll with pain. You enroll with pain. Notice how Jesus, he does say, come to me all, but he wasn't calling all people. He was calling everyone who was heavy burden,
weary.
So he's really just like, what he's doing is he's aggravating the pain, kind of, right? But the thing is if he just said, "Hey everyone, come get rest," and this is what most people do online. They're talking to everyone, and if you're talking to everybody, you're essentially talking to nobody. Nobody's listening. The more you can call out the person that you're trying to talk to, the more they will listen and pay attention. Just for the same reason, when somebody says your name, you snap your neck. Like when people say, "Oh my gosh," I always think they're saying Omar until I hear the word gosh. Like, it's just funny. "Oh my gosh." Oh, dang it. Nobody cares about me. But like, we do that. If there was a crowd of people and somebody shouted your name, the whole crowd's not going to look, you're going to look. So in the same way, I want you to think about, and this is why it takes good listening. Like, it took the compassion of Jesus to know that he wants to help people who self-identify with the pain of being weary and heavy burden. So that's number one. This is, if you watch any or listen to any of the podcasts, how do I start the podcast? Have you been looking for XYZ 1, 2, 3? Have you ever wondered to yourself, like, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to you because I know I think this is a weird way to say it, but I'm talking to you because I'm obsessed with your problem for you, which is like, let me obsess over your problem so I can help you. And so if you're ever doing an ad read, if you're ever doing a hook, even for a YouTube video, enroll people with their pain. Like, I mean, it doesn't get as more clear than that. So great. I think the challenge ad, if you're a business owner or content creator looking to become more known, make more money, I want to invite you to the Content to Cash Challenge. Like, it's leveraging the thing that people are struggling with, right? So that's, this is a YouTube hook 101 too. So enroll with the pain. Jesus says, "Come to me, all who are weary, heavy laden." So don't make a call for everybody. So for home decor, like, how specific can you get? Hey ladies, hey moms, have you been looking how to decorate or like, Are you spending money? Like, what's the pain? Are you wasting money on cheap things? Do you not know where to buy this? Like, just figure out the thing. Hey, aspiring freelance photographer.
That's great.
Are you looking to make more money easier and just simplify the process with working with people so that you can just focus on what you're good at, which is just taking photos?
Fire.
You know, so
The moms was actually really good because moms are the ones who care about home decorations.
yeah. So the Messiah marketing method, number 1, Jesus enrolls with pain. The second thing Jesus does is he exposes the promise. He says, and I will give you rest. Now, in marketing, you will never see a Fortune 500 company market the process. Don't ever tell or expose the process. Don't tell people like everything that's there. Like, that's not what people want. People want the promised land. So the more you can expose the promised land or the promise, the more they're going to be inclined to say yes. So, I mean, I do a web class, 5 costly mistakes entrepreneurs make when building their personal brand. Like talk about pain. And then the promise is like, become more known in your industry, automate leads, and create time freedom. Like, yes, sign me up. This is why you'll never see an airline market the empty seats. You'll never see that on a billboard. You'll never see a commercial about it. Like, what does Southwest do? Want to get away? They're really they're exposing the pain of embarrassment for you to just book a flight and get out of there. Notice this is like, do they teach this in college? I don't know if they teach this in college, bro. This is like, they don't teach this in college, that's for sure. But
they teach this at the department.
Hey, they teach us at the department. But yeah, he exposes the promise. So he says, come to me all who are weary, heavy burden, and I will give you rest. That is the promise. The promise is you will get rest. So it's like, pain, promised land, pain, promised land. And I will give you rest. I don't really have much more to say about that part. It's just think about what people want. The video that you might have watched that this is a part 2 of is dominate YouTube in 2025. Like, not grow on YouTube, not
build,
not get more views on YouTube, dominate. Like, is that not what people want the feeling of, right? So like, I'm, even in, and this is like copywriting 101, it's 401, 1001. Is 1001 even a number? It's not even a number. But this is and then the thumbnail that got voted from like you guys it said become YouTube rich in 2025 or something like that, or just become YouTube rich. I know that is, I know it sounds very like potentially fleshy and stuff. But I'm leveraging human nature to both of our advantages. If you make something about the person, or if you make the thing not about you and about them, they will pay attention to you. So this is the order in which Jesus actually helped people. More than helped. This is the order in which Jesus actually saved people. You will find in the Gospels, in the Synoptic Gospels, that as Jesus saved people, forgave their sin, he healed their need first. He took care of their need first. And then he gave them salvation or forgave their sin. Ultimate salvation happened after the resurrection. I hope this makes the woman with the issue of blood says, like, your faith has made you well, go and sin no more. Like, he's taking care of the immediate pain of the people. I even remember, like, he asked the man, like, do you want to be made well? Yeah, please. Like, Jesus, and I honestly, I think this is very strategic about Jesus, but what was the root of his strategy was actual compassion. Like, that he actually cared so much about your current need. This is my business philosophy, by the way. I am so concerned about your current need to build your business and be the entrepreneur you're called to be and get you paid the way you feel you need to be paid, so that if it ever came down to it and you really wanted a deep conversation about this stuff, let's go. But like, this is why I'm not building a overt Christian, thing. I'm not an overt, like, I don't care.
This isn't a Christian podcast.
This isn't a Christian podcast.
Yeah.
This is a podcast with a person who so happens to be a disciple. That's what it is, right? So, but this is my business philosophy, is like, bro, I'm as wise as serpents, as harmless as doves. Like, this is I hope that you feel that I care about you, like, via video, so much to the point that we're willing to put in the time, effort, energy, and money to give you a resource like this conversation so that you can go to the next level. It's literally like, this is crazy. One of these days I'll teach this as a keynote, bro, and people are gonna be like, my gosh, how did you do that? I say, number one, Jesus enrolls with pain. We're talking about ad reads, but we're also talking, notice how like the Bible is this good. Like, I just gave you a business plan, essentially, a marketing
foundation.
business strategy for your business. Enroll with pain, expose the promise. And then this is very, 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 very important. Number 3, Jesus encourages the path, not the process, but the path. There's a difference. He says, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. The number one reason why people don't take action is because they believe it's difficult. They believe, not that it is difficult, they believe it's difficult. Therefore, inaction takes place, or action doesn't happen. If somebody believes something is easy, you're more likely to get them to do it. This is like sales, persuasion, and psychology 401. Hey, question for you. Are you somebody who is looking to start creating content, or maybe you currently create content, but all the gear and the tech just overwhelms you? If so, I wanted to let you know about our sponsor for this podcast, Ulanzi. Whether you're creating content with your smartphone, a camera, or just trying to take your Zoom calls to the next level, Ulanzi has everything you need to make your setup look and sound professional. I've been using their gear myself, and honestly, it's been a complete game changer for my content. You can check them out at ulanzi.com/Omar, and we've got some amazing picks for you. And also, if you look at the description below, we have a special promo code that will give you 12% off your entire order. Big thanks to Ulanzi for sponsoring this episode and helping us create. I know this is what happens with the podcast, that the way I have a way of making it seem easy. And I use that word very intentionally, seem easy. Because if I can get you to believe it seems easy, and maybe another word is possible, you will more likely be susceptible to say yes. So it is, and this is a thread or an X I need to like type out. You should be working very hard to make it easy for them. This is why everybody's like, I don't know what to sell. I don't know what to add. I don't know what to. Well, work really hard to make somebody's life easier. When you do that, the compound effect of what happens in your life is insane. Like, make what you help people do: lose weight, communicate better, be a better creatively, editor, video creator, like what, momhood, fatherhood, coach, like whatever you do, make it easier for them. And this influences offer creation too. Because if there's a process you could put in place in an offer, something you could put in place in your offer that doesn't quite exist, but if I just did this, it would accelerate this is why I do the content mastery workshops. I do it because in less than 2 days, the amount of breakthrough that takes place is invaluable. But it takes me to have the servant's heart and even just the constant pursuit of making something more easy. my main goal. And it starts to attract people. People want to work with other people that don't make things hard. But here's what's funny about difficulty. We are all hardaholics. Like we in ourselves, we make things harder than they need to be.
It's very true.
And even in like art is a great example, because there are some things I want art to start taking over responsibility with in the business. And the consensus of things you are learning that are new is what?
They seem hard.
Yeah, but like you got off the call, that training call last week and you said it was easier than I thought.
Yeah.
That should be what people say about you, because you're that good. Right? So let's go back to this. Jesus says, "For my yoke is easy and my burden light." Everybody else's way, if you go another way, it will be harder. I just want to let you know that. Now, even with like keeping on the trend here about keeping it easy and encouraging the path, make the path or the next step, make it easy. Like the ManyChat, if you don't know, like when people say comment this to get this on Instagram and stuff, you know what that is? Like ManyChat just like created a platform that made things easy. Like literally, if you really think about it, all great businesses and companies are built on the idea that they made something more easier.
Right.
Think about it.
100.
Tell
the
me
first one that come to mind was Amazon.
Boom.
First one.
Get it in 2 days.
Yep.
You know, because another thing that for ease is also speed. Like make it easier or faster.
Yes.
And this should be like your brain. Like how do they get it? How do they get the end result quicker? How do they get the end result faster? Like, will you allow your creativity to go that way? My goodness, like you're going to get people results. People are going to get breakthroughs. But just by saying it's easier, it doesn't necessarily always, like there's ways that you can make things appear easier, and there's context and place for that. But then there's also like actually coming up with solutions that make it easier. So like, I know we pay a company $30 a month to edit this podcast with using their AI software.
Yeah.
That's 30 times 12. That's like $500 something, I guess you could say. But sorry about it, math and numbers. $500 because they make our life easier. And it's automated. Like they're not doing anything after we download it.
A lot faster.
Yeah. And a lot faster, high quality. Literally, I had a coach call today, and one of the guys in the group, his name's Christian Mael. He teaches like beginner, the Bible for beginners. It's really cool what he does. He's even on like the YouVersion app. It's really cool, all that he does. But I was talking with him today on the call and saying how like, why do most people not read the Bible? They don't read the Bible because they believe it's hard. Like maybe whether it's just looking at the book and just telling themselves by looking at a book that doesn't look like any other book, it's hard to read. That's number one. Number two is they think they like, and notice how everything is just like people are in our own head. People are in their own way of things that will make it better for them in life. Doesn't matter what it is. Like I'm in my own way for getting my health and fitness dialed. Like I'm in my own way. Like
100.
I think every morning to like go do the Stairmaster, but I don't. And so you think that you must read this cover to cover each time you sit down. Probably you must think that because the words are too small or whatever. But like when you really think about it, you're like, hey, did you know that they make it so like you could find the book like right at the top of the page, and like Jesus, when he talks, it's red. Like the color is red. Not just quotes, like the color red.
But there's even other translations that make it easier to read.
Yeah, there's the translations. There's like, get a Bible reading plan. What's a Bible reading plan?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Like,
Or
did you know you could? Hey, can you do 5 minutes a day? Oh my gosh, I can do 5 minutes. Yeah, proverb of the day. Whatever day it is, go to the proverb. There's 31 proverbs. Right now, it's the 21st. I'm going to Proverb 21, and I'm going to read Proverb 21.
How funny is that too? 31 proverbs.
How crazy. It's a book of wisdom. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say you need to know that everyone is already made the thing you teach hard to themselves. So it's our job to do what Jesus did and encourage the path. And that path should be easy. Your version should be easier. Your way of doing something should be faster. The results you get a person should be quicker.
This is a great way to come up with something
For
to
sure.
sponsor.
Yeah. So
like, I'm sure people who are listening to this stuff is coming up, like small ideas that they can, execute on.
right. So let's just make one right now for the challenge. Like, so what does the challenge help people do? Let's start there. The challenge, the Content to Cash challenge.
Okay.
It helps people essentially create an online business with their content. It also helps people show how to have unlimited content ideas. These are solutions. And like leading with the solution is a great a way to lead with like a hook. But I want to use the solutions to tell me the pain, because that's usually
I feel the biggest thing they get, though, that I noticed from my perspective at least is awareness.
Yeah,
the challenge makes them aware of a lot
yeah.
of things that they were missing out on.
Yeah, and if you are a thought leader or you're an expert in your industry, you should have these like phrases or these hooks. You should have a few of them. So here's the newest one. Hey, did you know that you don't have a business problem, a product problem, or any other problem than this one thing? You have an awareness problem. If more people knew about you and your business, I even say, you could even say, do you feel like you're an expert or you're just really good at what you do, but nobody knows you? Ouch. Like if that's you. Yes, Omar, that's me.
Oh yeah, people would be like,
yeah. I mean, I literally did a web class and I was like, who here believes they're really good at what they do? Everybody, me.
Yep.
But nobody knows you.
Yep.
So yeah, it might be awareness. Now I'm leveraging the pain. Like, what if 10 people, 100 people, 200 people, 200,000 people knew about you and your services? Imagine, what would your life look like? Now I'm getting people I'm connecting the promise now. Like living a life where and this is where I say, I'm going to show you my part-time 6-figure content system that gives me time freedom and has made me the expert in my industry. Like, you're just going to get it. And the thing is like, do your best I love having these conversations with my friend Neil. We always talk about how we can make whatever it is we do not sound like work. There are words you guys are using that are making people run away because you're making it sound like work. Omar, what do you mean by that? I mean, the
2-day content thing you do here in Vegas. First, it was called Content Workshop, and you're like, I don't want it to be a workshop because people are working.
Which isn't like a terrible word,
yeah.
But in my pursuit to like have better verbiage,
you turned it into Content Mastery Day.
Yes.
Even though it's even 2 days.
It's 2 days. Technically, it's 2 like 4 or 5 hour days, which is like 1 day. But like, yes, Content Mastery Day. Like you're going to become a master in 1 day.
Yep.
Like and this is where using like word pictures, it comes in using your creativity. But yeah, so like, and then what's the next step? The next step, especially in a YouTube video for making this an ad read, is if you want to be a part of this pretty much 5 days of coaching with me, all for under $200, check out the link down in the description below, and I will see you on the next Content to Cash challenge. Like that's a great ad read. Ad read shouldn't be anything longer than, honestly, it shouldn't be longer than 30 seconds unless it's really good, But we throw B-roll, and all that stuff. But yeah, thank you, Jesus, for giving us a framework.
That was long, but that was a lot of gold in there that I think people need to.
Just to recap, I'll encourage you, search Matthew 11, verse 28 and 30. And primarily the NIV version is very easy to read, NLT version. Even the message paraphrase, it's so cool. It's actually, I think it's actually worth reading as we, I don't like saying as we wrap up, but as we wrap up. Don't ever do that, guys. When you're on the end of your content, don't say as we end, just end. There's just so many nuggets. It just keeps coming out. So I'm going to go to the message paraphrase, which is a paraphrase. Don't get mad at me. People say you're not supposed to teach using the message paraphrase.
What do you think about the amplified?
It's kind of the same. It falls under thought for thought. There's like word for word and thought for thought, and like having like the middle ground. is what you want. Look at this. This is Eugene Peterson, who was a local pastor of a church, and he didn't rewrite the Bible, but he wrote the Bible in plain terms, and I love it. It's literally an ad read. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take real rest. Walk with me. Work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Click the link below. Isn't that crazy? The message is like literally an ad read. So how about just take the message paraphrase and turn it into your ad read? That's actually really good. So that's how you monetize your YouTube channel. And I just want to congratulate you, because if you do this, I want you to DM me and say, Omar, I did what you said. And literally this person came in. Hey, Omar, like literally, I just got a lead. Hey, Omar, my email list is at 1,000. Like, let me know when you do this stuff. Cause
do you think all this answered everyone's questions?
I think so.
As to sponsoring their own stuff.
I think so. It might've been pretty meta, but this is why, keep learning. If you honestly, day 4 of the challenge is where we really break down the sponsoring your own content thing, with all the various types of ways to offer something, whatever that is. So, I would encourage you, honestly, check out the challenge, man. If you've been like resonating with the messaging of this podcast lately, I don't know what you're waiting on or what you're doing. If you have a question about it, you can put it in the comments. It's all good. Like, we'll answer it to the best of our ability. But it literally is an insane price point. There literally was somebody who told me the other day that from the Content to Cash Challenge, his $200 investment, he applied what he learned and he made 6 figures in the year that he applied it. He's like, bro, I got to move my family to a nicer apartment. We get to eat better dinners. We used to eat like the worst dinners or whatever. And like, I don't know. I'm just like, dude, that's amazing. So anyway, that's available for you to take. Final thoughts, Art, as we wrap up this solo pod. We've been on one with the solo pods.
Has it been every week this month of solo pods?
So far, I believe so, yeah.
Wow. It's fun. Great.
Yeah. I would encourage you with this. Everything is testing. If nobody's downloading the thing, but you getting views, switch it up. Like, don't allow perfectionism to paralyze you by simply coming up with something valuable for somebody. Like, there is no shame in that, like, straight up. So test the market. Always be testing, always be asking, always be listening. What do you need? Make it down, put it in the description below, like whatever that is, or put it in the comments below. But just know that you're always testing stuff. We did the gear guide and it was like, oh snap, bro! Like, people love this stuff. I didn't know that people just wanted links to gear and like, cool, you know. And so anyway, shout out to you guys. Thank you for locking in. Really, we just passed 100,000 subscribers, and I think it's the coolest thing in the world to do that with very long podcast episodes. And so blessed. We're so honored to serve you, and glad that you're locked in. Department fam. All right, we'll see you in the challenge.